Set.
Yeah, I have to.
Good evening. I'd like to call the regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Selectmen to order. It's Monday, March 4th, 2013. It's now 7:33. And the first order of business is a public hearing to solicit comments from citizens, municipal departments, and other interested groups concerning the town's application to the State Department of Community and Economic Development for a 2013 Small Cities Community Development Block Grant Program. This is, the notice of the public hearing is about no more than a page. I've been instructed that there's two particular paragraphs that I have to read, so bear with me. So that's three. Notice is hereby given that the Board of Selectmen of the Town of Guilford, Connecticut will conduct a public hearing on March 4th, 2013 at 7:30 p.m. in the Guilford Town Hall, Selectman Meeting Room, 31 Park Street in Guilford, to discuss the fiscal year 2013 Community Development Block Grant Program and to solicit citizen input. If you didn't know where we were by now, we'd be in trouble. Maximum award limits include $700,000 for public facilities, $700,000 for public housing modernization, 25 units or less, parenthesis, or $800,000 for 26 units or more, $500,000 for infrastructure, and $400,000 for housing rehabilitation program for single towns, $500,000 for 2 town consortiums, and $600,000 for 3 or more towns, $25,000 for planning grants, $500,000 for economic development activities, and $500,000 for urgent need. And I guess that was it. Okay. All right. We have somebody from the Housing Authority make a presentation.
Sure.
Rich Evans, Chairman. How you doing?
Fine, thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening again.
Okay.
Richard Evans, Chairman, Guilford Housing Authority. And thank you again for your support. And essentially, this is a very similar grant to what you approved last year. Unfortunately, we just were not successful in getting the grant last year, so we're going for it again with some minor changes. But essentially, we're seeking $500,000 to replace the roofs. I believe they're the original roofs on Guilford Court, by the way. There'll be renovations to the community room that essentially would address some American with Disabilities Act issues with the laundry room, the kitchen. I believe that also includes bathrooms. Under that money, we'd also look to replace and put more energy efficient exhaust fans into both the kitchen and the baths. We would be also looking for 30 new storm front doors, which would help with maintaining heat and cool through different units there. Additional safety lighting for the parking lot, and we'd also be looking to upgrade the generator. As you know or may know, that is not a gravity-fed septic system, so if the electricity is out, we actually have to bring in a septic company every day or 2 days to actually physically pump, which costs additional money. So in short, that's it. The nice thing about this is if it's approved by the state, this is not money out of the town's budget. This is money that comes directly from the state.
Okay. Questions from the board? And you said this was all Guilford Court?
This is all 100% Guilford Court.
Okay.
Correct.
The only question I would have is, if there is something, if this is not approved, is there something on that list that we as a town ought to really be aware of and consider doing immediately?
My biggest fear on here is that we do have an aging roof. And as you've seen with other buildings around town, that aging roofs that don't get addressed lead to bigger, more expensive issues. So that would be, to me, the biggest issue. I keep looking to Angela and Betsy, our director and executive director and assistant director in the audience, and they're concurring.
How old is the roof that's on there now?
25?
Yeah, it's getting there.
Is it?
Yeah.
25
So
years.
it's currently 25 years old. Okay.
But if we didn't get this grant, do we have a plan to fix it? I mean, do we have a...
We'll cross that bridge. I mean, there are other avenues we can explore,
Okay.
but ideally,
No.
this is the way we want to do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And how much was totally you looking for?
500,000.
$500,000, okay, great. Okay, this is a public hearing. Is there anybody from the public who wish to address the public hearing? Okay. Seeing none, anybody else have any questions on the board? All right. Seeing none, I'll ask for a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved. Second.
Made and seconded, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you. Thank you, thank you, Rich. Rich, this is on our agenda
Yep, I won't go anywhere.
down, it's up to you to, okay?
I'll stay.
Be nice if you stayed, but we'll try to move along. Before we move on to item 2, we have a request for application to place a sign on the green. I'd like to add it to the agenda and make it item 9.5.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, okay. Item 2, approval of the minutes
So moved?
of February 19, 2013, regular meeting.
Second.
Okay, any additions or corrections?
I do.
Okay,
On page 3, under item 4-1, there was discussion about awarding the bid for the work for the tropical storm Sandy beach erosion project down at Jacobs Beach. And the sentence reads, Ms. Wallace said she has a concern because they do have a Guilford vendor that submitted a bid. I would like to add, and since there were mixed reviews with the recommendation, perhaps we should go with the Guilford vendor, whose work is known. Just to clarify what my concerns were.
okay, is there any objections to that? Okay, great. Anything further on the minutes? Anybody? No? Okay, I'll call for a motion, a vote on, to approve the minutes as corrected.
So moved?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you.
And one abstention. From
Okay, that's 4 and 1 abstention. Thank you. All right, the next order of business is item 3.1. Town engineer, Jim Portley, oh, there he is, Jim. Consider and take possible action to waive the bidding and extend sidewalk construction contract for 3 years. Good evening, James.
Good evening.
Hi, Jim.
Welcome to me. Okay. We have a letter that I've attached to the memo from Mark DeAngelis, who is proposing to serve the town, extend his contract with the town for another 3 years under the current pricing structure. We've had a previous bid to this contract. We had, as part of that bid, we've had a 5-year extension under that bidding price, bidding program. He offers to extend that bid another 3 years. The basic price of the sidewalk construction is about $7.15 a square foot. In this economic climate, he's decided that he would like to offer that to the town to extend it another 3 years. We've had great success. This is a program that deals very closely with homeowners, since as part of our ordinance, they share 50-50 with the cost of installing sidewalk. And it's not just the cost, it's also dealing with their front yards, their landscaping and everything else. And we've had virtually no problems over the years that Mark has served the town. So I fully support this idea of extending another 3 years, given that it's not gonna cost us anymore. So I recommend the Board of Selectmen waive rebidding of the construction of town sidewalks and extend the contract of M.D. Angelos Incorporated to run through 2016.
This is first contract for 5 years?
It was a 1-year contract, but we, as part of the bid documents, we reserved the right to extend it
1 year at a
as
time.
long as we were satisfied with the work, and the work has been excellent. At the time we bid it, the only other bidder was Layton Construction, New Haven.
About twice as much.
Yeah, and it was significantly higher. And, you know, in the absence of any problems or any kind of conflict with the Angeles side, I mean, it doesn't make sense to me to change the course. You know, we could go into the marketplace and get bids. I will say, years ago, we had a bid from my name escapes me now, contractor in Milford. And I called down to the Director of Public Works and Town Engineer down there, see how the fellow performed. They said he was a low bidder. They gave him one contract, and they wouldn't deal with him again. And that was because it was constantly fighting with the property owners. There was a constant claim of costs, overruns, and this kind of thing. He says they wouldn't allow him to rebid. I don't want to go through that. I mean, it's kind of thing where it's a very sensitive area. You're dealing with people's front yards, you're dealing with their, basically their property, you try to meet the grades of their walkways in front of their houses.
Is that the only work that they do is with property owners, or are they doing any construction work for the town in terms of installing sidewalks?
Well, they work with the town. Town works with, and we extend some of our own sidewalks. So we have a lot of sidewalks that aren't just property owner sidewalks, but with our own, like we do repairs to sidewalks as needed.
Does this company do those sidewalks
Yes.
also?
Yes, all under this contract.
What's the estimated dollar value? What did we budget for this year's?
I think this,
65.
65 going to, it was 50 last year, wasn't
It's
No,
been-
it's 60.
it? Is it 60 last year?
So it's
Okay.
been in that range.
It's in that range, and because it's a shared cost, the value of the contract may go up to about $90,000 to $100,000 because people are contributing. But there are always costs that we incur as part of our ongoing sidewalk work too.
Just a point of information is that whoever we contract with and is really for the period beginning July 1, which is the new fiscal year. And at this point, we don't even have a budget for that
Yeah.
yet, or approved budget. We sent it to the Board of Finance, so it's not for any work because you've exhausted your budget
Right.
for the current year.
Yeah.
You do it mostly in the summer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a late spring,
Right.
fall program.
Jim, I guess, I understand what you're saying about the relationships and cognizant of Veronica's comment last meeting about using a local vendor, but, we're dealing with substantial dollars. It's a five and a half year old bid. And we've seen a lot of variation in bids that we've done over the last couple of years with contracting prices coming down. And I would like to see a rebid. I think it's prudent to do that. And we run the risk that he comes in $1 higher and he's still a low bidder, and I understand that,
Well, as the-
but
Yeah, well, that was my concern. I was gonna.
that's always the concern.
It's it's an old bid, 2007. I mean,
And there was, contractors were flat out in '07. They're not flat out
Well,
these days.
they were.
As flat out.
The normal policy in other contracts, is there a sunset and renewals? I mean, I can appreciate, why you stick with a known
Known
product and that type of thing, but there are other concrete contractors that are local too, that might bid.
Well, in any of these countries, you have to set up so you have somebody with some kind of experience. I mean,
right.
I will say, there are not as many as there were 5 years ago.
Sure.
And we only had 2 bidders then. That's not to say that XYZ company can't start up tomorrow, claim they can do sidewalks. And I've seen some of that work over the years.
But in a general
various construction-
well, that's why we check references and the like
Yeah,
too.
right.
In a general policy, is there a sunset and renewals usually, or kind of like?
I mean, that's why we have contract limit. But, I mean, it's always subject to review.
I guess my other question, and maybe it's just because I'm not understanding the work involved, but isn't this something, or can this be something that Public Works does?
We used to do this years ago. It just, we've reduced.
I mean, you realize you can't do everything. Yeah.
Really, and that's what it comes down to. And there's a skill that's you gather. Yeah, we can do a concrete sidewalk. I will say we had more problems years ago when we did it ourselves because we didn't do it every day. It can be good at a lot of things, but you can't be good at everything. And you can put concrete in, but if you don't know how to finish it properly, then you're in a position where you've got the ire of the property owner. He feels that he's paying part of the cost that he wants. He wants a first-class job. You
lots
know
of
how
time.
people are demanding. They
Oh,
don't
yeah,
want. They don't want
we've
just
had 'em
concrete.
here.
Yeah.
You know,
They don't want
I
just
know.
concrete out there. They want a nice job. Joe, he deals with these issues all the time.
Yeah, I know.
And lots of times they're just patch jobs. I mean, they might only be doing 10 feet here and 10 feet there, and it's
And
not
that's
as if you're doing a street.
That's the difficult part. If you had a, say for instance, we were gonna do State Street from Route 1 to Broad Street. You could say, okay, we got 8,000 square foot of concrete sidewalk, we want you to elevate it here, we wanted to reduce it down there. A contractor can bid on that. This contract, we've always worked with the property owners. If they can only afford to do 40 or 50 feet, we try to get them to do the frontage. But, you know, it's a tough situation to come out, reach into your pocket and come up with money for a sidewalk you don't necessarily feel you
Right.
obligated to pay. So, you know, you were working, so he comes in and he'll work with us to do 40 feet instead of the 150 feet. It's very difficult to get that into a bid, put that into language in a bid that you're gonna work, you know, a couple of weeks here, and then a month later, after you can negotiate with these people on
So he's
Cherry
very
Street.
flexible is what you're
He's
saying.
been very flexible, because he's a local guy, his mobilization cost, he's right here. He comes up, he gets in, gets out. I would tell you, I think the town has been well served by this contract. I mean, it's, to me, it's, I strongly recommend it. If you wanna go out to bid, we can. I'm not, but there's no guarantee.
But the other problem is that, like you just said, how is the bidding necessarily gonna work, because it's gonna change with each situation, right? I mean,
Well,
Well,
it's
you-
bid on a per foot basis.
Square
right,
foot.
but,
Well, and you know, we do try to give the contractors a heads up. We're not gonna give you 5,000 square feet at a time. We're gonna give you, it's gonna be piecemeal.
yeah.
The closer you are to the job, in that kind of a situation, the more you can absorb those mobilization costs. If you're gonna drive up from Lower Whitfield Street up to the job, it's a lot easier from coming from Milford or even Madison. So, and that, I think there's economies that DeAngelis realizes as part of the thing. We don't have any other sidewalk contractors in town that I know of. I mean, there may be some guy who can do the work, but there's nobody with any municipal experience that I know of.
Jim, do we guarantee certain amount of linear footage that we're gonna do in a particular year?
No, it's based on the budget that we have.
Okay.
We can't guarantee.
But we know,
So we're not locked into that?
we know there's enough. You just walk around and you know you can fill up that
We-
footage, because, you know, we all
We're
know
usually
this.
constrained more by budget than we are by
Right.
needs, because there are many people in this town who would love trees, and they've planted these shallow-rooted trees along our roads that,
But
in
so
3 or 4
you're,
years, we're in trouble.
so you're really, you're asking to renew the original bid another year? Is that what your question is?
Well, he offers to do it 3 years, even if it was 1 year. I mean, we can do it, the economy changes, he might want it out, but he offers to do it for 3 years.
I'm not comfortable with doing it for another 3 years. I really think it's an old bid already, and, you know, I could be persuaded, to renew it for another year, but
Is there such a thing as renewing it for a year and writing into it that it gets rebid at the end of that year?
well, if I make the motion that way, yeah, I would think.
So are you thinking that we should go out to bid, Veronica, or
No,
wait
that-
a year, that maybe we should do it now to see?
Are we talking before July 1st or after July 1st?
Contract is good up to
Starts.
July 1st.
Yeah, so it'd be,
But have you used up the budget?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so nothing would happen before July
No.
1st anyway?
Can't, because we're not.
Right, because
We
there's
don't
no
have a-
funding for
Right,
it.
and even if the funding's approved in April,
Yeah.
we still can't use
Right.
it until July 1.
So, I mean, there is time, if I
Yes,
were
we're not behind
if
the
I
law.
were sitting in your seat, I'd probably feel exactly the same way. I understand your arguments. I absolutely understand your arguments, but I think, you know, in my mind, we're talking about $100,000 worth of work, in an environment where we've seen some
Used it all this year already?
very low bids come in on certain things, and I just feel more comfortable
You have to do it
doing
in
it.
the summer.
And I hope he's a low bidder,
Oh,
for
because I'm
the
thinking
town's sake,
June,
your sake, you know.
Spring.
But I think we have a duty to do that,
It was
is
all
my
Boston
opinion.
Street they did.
So we did July.
Yeah.
So just so I understand, Jimmy, I was just asking Joe, so a lot of your work is done July, August, September. That's the reason why,
Yeah,
that's how
it
you
would depend
prioritize.
from year to year. Sometimes we have money left over, we'll start early.
No, I understand, but I mean, it's not like we have you planned it that way this year, I
If we
guess.
No,
were to
I haven't
move
made any promises that we're gonna be there in June. or
Okay.
May, June.
But they did a pretty good stretch on Boston Street this
Yeah.
past summer and out here.
Yeah.
If
on
we
Park
were
Street.
to move to be rebid, is there enough time to get that all done and be in place?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. Anybody want to make a motion?
I'll move that we, deny the, extension of the sidewalk construction contract for 3 years, and that we go out to bid.
Okay, so we're not granting the waiver,
No.
basically, okay?
Just with half the time.
Is there a
I'll
second?
second that.
Is there a second? Okay. Any further discussion?
Only a point, sort of, I guess a point, we're really just tabling the request.
No.
I'm asking them to go out to rebid.
We're not accepting the waiver.
Or we're not accepting,
I'm not
we're not
accepting the
waiving the bidding, so,
Right.
Nope,
so if we don't,
I'm denying. My
maybe
motion
it's
is
just
to
semantic,
den-
maybe it's
yeah.
just semantic, let's go to bid, I'm with
Yeah.
you, but anyway.
You have the
Okay.
motion correctly? Okay. Is there any further discussion? Not, I'll call for a vote. All
Aye.
those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, aye, it's unanimous. You voted?
Maybe something to do next week.
Oh, yeah, I have nothing else to do. This is good. I'm glad you decided that way.
Thank you, James. Okay, item 4, Police Chief Thomas Terrabile, discuss, take possible action, excuse me, on award of bid 30-1213, Police Mobile Command Vehicle. Good evening. We have Deputy Hutchinson, the accompanying chief today. Welcome, gentlemen.
He did all the work, so let him tell you about it. But just to give you some basics on it. The vehicle we're trying to replace is, Bestie and I were trying to figure out exactly what the age of this thing is. We bought it used from Connecticut Limousine back in the year 2000. At that time, the vehicle had over 300 and some odd thousand miles. We're thinking it's a 1987 bus that they used to transport people back and forth to the airport. We were lucky enough to grab it for, I think, $5,000, but at the time, and Public Works did a lot of work out of it. We made it work for us. We added a generator, we added radiators and that sort of thing. At this point, the vehicle is just beat, and we came before you a couple of years ago, and you were gracious enough to approve the cost of a new command vehicle. It's like at that point, we're estimating $185,000 from what the price of things were back then. And as you were just talking about, bids have drastically gone down, and you can see we did end up with 2 bids, which were $12,000, $13,000 apart. So I'll let the deputy present what we're looking for in the command post, and if you have any questions, then you can certainly ask us.
Okay, essentially you got the background on why we need the new command post. For those of you that are not aware, and for the public that's watching this, the command post is used for countless situations and countless reasons. Everything from every major investigation we have, we bring it out there. It serves as an operating post where we can be inside multiple people, probably 6, 8 people at a time, where we can determine what we're going to do. We can work on interviewing witnesses. We can process evidence on the short term in there. We can take statements. And we need to be out of the cold. We need to be out of the rain in order to do that. Prior to having the bus that we currently have, it was lift the tailgate up and stand underneath it, and hopefully you don't get wet, sit in the front seat, crowd people in a car. And from a practical perspective, it really doesn't work well if you're trying to conduct a professional investigation and one that's going to be efficient and effective. So to that end, the bus that we've had has worked tremendously for us for the money that we put into it, and for the adjustments that Public Works made to accommodate us. But what we're proposing now is a 28-foot mobile command post. 17 feet of it is going to be the working area. The other footage is the cab, the Ford F-550 platform that it's built on. And we have it spec'd out as a purpose-built vehicle. You have sketches there that give you an indication of how we're going to have it laid out. Lieutenant Robinson put a lot of work into this. He's taken a lot of ownership in the one that we have, and has done a good job in working some of the details in the new vehicle. He's in charge of our SWAT team, and he was in charge of patrol at the time, which conducts most of the investigations that he'd be in charge of on that realm. But essentially, you see the layout, you see what we're looking for. It includes a generator similar to the one we have now. It's 17 feet. The reason we asked for the size that we did is that it's going to fit in our parking lot, number one. A lot of people asked why we weren't going bigger, but the chief was explaining before the meeting to some of the selectmen present. It's unique for us because we want to make sure that the vehicle will get into the places that we need to get it into. Long driveways, small areas, smaller roads here in Guilford. And having a big giant tractor trailer command post isn't something that's gonna be effective or useful for us. So,
I'm sorry, Keith.
no, go ahead.
Oh, what's the size of the current one?
Same size.
Same size?
So
Yeah.
little different, maybe a couple inches here and there, but same size.
Between the one we have now and the new, yeah, it's the same, it's the same working area. But it's laid out differently and more efficiently because, we're building it from bottom up. So we received 2 bids as a result of our proposal. One was from Dodge Industries out of Iowa. They came in at 124,000 change. And then the Nomad Global Communications out of Montana. Their bid was $112,915. Now, we originally had budgeted $185,000, as you know, so they've come in substantially lower than our anticipated costs. I think in reviewing both of these, they're both right on the mark with the bid specs that we put together. There's really no difference at all between the specs on the two. That being the case, it was logical for us to recommend the low bid, which was Nomad out of Montana.
Is there anything we have to add to this?
There are going to be a few purchases afterwards that we could not add into the bid for various reasons. We need to stripe it and decal it. We need to add radios. All the wiring for the radios will be in place. We just need to purchase and install the radios. We have some computer workstations that we need to set up. We're not sure whether it's going to be laptops or tablets or whatever that are going to be dedicated to the command post. And there's a crime scene, accident scene investigation software system that we can install into there that would greatly enhance our ability to conduct detailed investigations. It's called Total Stations. It's basically a laser measuring device that will map every possible crime scene you can think of right down to the millimeter. And it's something we've been looking to implement for a while.
So we're not talking about any material cost, large dollars.
We're probably talking, the total station thing is 12 or 14,000.
Okay.
And then you're talking laptops, tablets, they're $400 or $500 a piece. I'm guessing maybe 20,000.
So you're still well within your budget.
Well, it's also designed for a crime scene, but the fair, we use that for a mobile.
Kid care you did.
Right, we use that, that's our office, so, at the Dr. Fair, they make arrests out of that thing, if they have a crime, they do interviews, they take statements with it. So we wanted it as flexible as possible, which was nice about the one we have. It was very flexible, there's a lot of room, you could do a lot of different things with it. It's just not a crime scene van like you see. A lot of departments, they have a crime scene van, then they have a command post, and we just don't like wasting taxpayers' money. We like to be able to use multi-purpose vehicle and use it for a lot of different stuff.
I have to say that I've seen this.
I think you were
operated
the
in
crime
action.
scene one, eh?
Yeah, unfortunately, it was a fatality that you were investigating. And I was, in there, it was nice to be warm in there and just saw the work that you're able to do instead of doing it unseen and going back to the station. And it's just a great asset for the department to have.
Do I recall from our discussion of the bonding that there's also compatibility with what the fire department would do, so in a disaster, there would be some application for them as well?
Oh, yeah, we all share stuff back and forth. It's always offered for them. When we had the rollover for the gas tank, the propane tanker, we use it. I'm in and out of theirs, they're in and out of our stuff. The way Chief Chef and I look at it, it's town property.
So it's compatible with their equipment. That was my point.
Yeah, they're fueling us up. Yeah,
Yeah.
everything is compatible with them, and it works well.
I assume we've never bought anything from this company before, but has anybody else locally?
They're definitely checked. They're a major camper manufacturer, and really this is what you're getting is a camper without beds in it, basically. That's what it is.
Anybody locally?
Yeah, that was my question, is like, they were all the way out in the Midwest, Montana and Iowa, and then
Those
how
are
do you
places
take,
where they are.
is it,
Yeah.
is
That's
it
where they
like,
come from.
yeah, like the fire trucks, we have to go so far away?
How about warranties and stuff for
Yeah.
local
It's
Ford
Ford
dealers?
dealer. Yeah, he gives us a story, gives us a list of all the
So
warranty
it isn't like a
locations.
fire truck where you gotta ship
No,
it from.
we go right over here to him and ask Ford for all the maintenance on it.
And there's the generator that's on it, the equipment that's on it. There's
Dealers.
local dealers within Connecticut.
And then will you have to go there to get it, or will it be delivered to us?
Well, you make a good point. I was gonna say, unfortunately, the last fishing trip to Montana was planned, but one of the advantages to this Nomad Communications is they provide video uplink, so
bring it to Hammonasset Ford, or?
Hammonasset Ford would warranty the Ford F-550 chassis, but if there are some defects in the construction of the work body in the back, it might necessitate going back there,
I don't see that.
We don't anticipate that.
But it's happened,
sure,
that's
it's
why,
warranted.
that's why I asked the question. It happened with the fire department, I believe, on a big piece of equipment.
I'm sure they will fly somebody out here, I'm sure they can drive around
Yeah.
that. They do have other equipment in and around the state, so it's not like we're the first ones buying from these people. We've checked and they
That
have
was my question.
references.
There are other people.
Well, they're a big communications command trailer builder, although they've built similar vehicles to this as well. So they have, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, some New England customers.
Is this a stock item or is it custom
It's custom.
for our specs?
Right.
Okay.
And so how long is the turnaround? From the time you place the order to the time the town of Guilford gets it, stocks it with the equipment that we need and details it and gets it on the road? What are
Well,
we
it's
talking about?
mandatory for them to deliver to us within 150 days of bid acceptance. So that's not really that long. So we can have it by the summertime. The striping is a one-day job. The radios will go in a day. It can be working, and we don't need the striping to work it. So if it came out here and we needed it, we could use it.
Why don't you tell your last experience of driving a command post to,
Yeah, it was a pouring rain day. There was an incident up north. So essentially how it works is whoever's closest to the bus, we call it, is the one that gets to grab it and take it up there. I happened to be in the station at the time, and they responded to a fatality up north. And as I drove up, it was a little trickly, and the rain started coming in a little bit. And by the time I made it to the firehouse up north, I literally had to pull the van over. I was soaked. The radio was being soaked by the rain pouring, and I had to find a plastic bag in the back, cover that up, cover all the electronics up, so we could get to where we were going and not have the thing seize up on me from electronic failure. It's a mess. It's falling apart.
this thing has been going through New York City for 350,000 miles of those lovely roads in New York City. And the vehicle is just,
And we've had it for 13 years, too. We've had it. Those is nothing.
I think it's a testament to how it's been modified over the years and made.
And maintained, yeah, and maintained,
Yeah.
too.
I have a question. I don't dispute the need for this vehicle. We absolutely need it. We talked a lot about this during bonding. The question I had is one of the things we talked about during bonding and explored is the need to have this vehicle 365 days a year. And what I mean by that is one of the things we talked about, Chief, you remember, is the possibility of partnering with one of our neighboring towns in terms of sharing the costs and the vehicle itself. Has that been explored?
we looked at it, and we looked at it, hard. We do share equipment, as you know, we have a regional swap with Branford.
Yep.
We do with Madison.
Yep.
What we've done is we've taken a look at each town and said, okay, what do you have that we don't have to buy? Like Madison just got their hands on one of those armored vehicles. So they got the armored vehicle we want. We have a command post, Branford has a smaller one. So we share all that kind of equipment back and forth. The problem with pricing of the, sharing the price, it's, when we need it, we need it. It's kind of like the fire department with an aerial truck. When you need a thing, you need it. I don't need it to be in Madison. And they have an event when I have a fable, and that's happened. I can't have it sitting there when I need it. But if it's ours, I can say, ship it back there because we need it. And then we do have regional equipment within the region. And what happens always becomes who's maintaining it, who broke it, who it didn't get fixed, and that sort of stuff. This is one of a critical piece that I think it's better that we own it, we buy it, and that, we can always loan it like we did to Madison. But with that, since it's ours, we can then call back and say we have our own crime scene. It's just not a type of vehicle we want to be sharing. Somebody has to be responsible for it.
No, I don't dispute that, but I can't imagine that we can't work out management parameters with the neighboring town about managing the vehicle and
If you
upkeep.
have a crime scene,
Right.
you need it at a crime scene.
Right.
So I don't want to be having it somewhere else, and somebody says, well, I have an event. It's one of those type of vehicles, like when Charlie has a fire, you need it. You need that piece of equipment, you need it to work, you have to know it's gonna work, and it's been maintained by you. Those regional pieces of equipment, what I see happen is nobody takes ownership on fixing it. Next thing you know, get in it and it's broken. Yeah, who broke it? I don't know. I don't see the savings on it. It's not that expensive a piece of equipment, but, like I said, we can share it with Madison. They have other pieces of equipment that we can borrow and use, just like they could borrow and use.
For instance, we will buy another vehicle because they have.
Well, they have one, we need some next year at least.
What would happen if
Not
we
helping here.
if we had a multiple need, or say if Madison had a multiple need, or we had a multiple need, would we loan this to them for that?
We did when they had their murder, they had the command post over there for 3 or 4 days when they're using, just like, they had the state police, they think they had 2 state police crime, vans there. They needed ours for more of an office thing, so we lent it to them, and we had people over there with it. It's one of those pieces of equipment, because they don't know how to operate the generators and that sort of thing. So you really have to have somebody there.
Not the primary equipment, but it gets them out from under the weather and that kind of stuff.
Correct, yeah.
For the big events, which if we had a big event, we'd probably do the same thing if we did.
Right.
And sharing this equipment is pretty much falls in line with mutual aid. We share our offices.
Correct.
I mean, you mentioned the homicide they had in Madison a couple of years ago. You did send some of your officers.
Right, we had officers over there and equipment over there. Yeah. Like Newtown, there was all the officers from all over the state there with equipment from all over being used.
What is the life of the vehicle?
Well, if we take care of it like we took care of this, we got 12 years out of a vehicle that
30-year-old
was
vehicle.
that the company decided it wasn't good anymore. We ended up putting a new engine in it. But we nursed it with Public Works. I mean, I guess it's 25, 30 years, and we got
So
12.
so it's worth the bonding for, because we're looking at 25 or 30 years.
This is, it doesn't get a lot of miles on it. It gets, 10 miles out to the crime scene and back for 10. Doesn't get a lot of miles on it.
It's hours on it. So
It's the hours of the idle time. We could be at a fatal accident for,
That's
10,
an
12 hours.
interesting point. Is there any logic to having a trailer versus?
We looked at it, they said you have to be able to back it up, and there's all kinds of issues with that, powering it and that sort of thing. I looked at it because, you can get trailers, but it just wouldn't serve our need. Now you have to have a truck to haul it and get it down there, and then trying to maneuver in and out of crime scenes, sometimes it's pretty difficult getting it out with a trailer.
You talked about some of the areas this would have to go into, and that's why you didn't want to get a warranty.
Correct.
So,
And it wouldn't be any cheaper, but, the only thing you'd be not getting is the engine and the transmission, the box would still be. So you'd save.
Well, that's what I was thinking about.
You'd save a little bit,
A box and all the computers,
But
that
you still
is
have to
not a
have
big deal to replace in 10 or 15 years. You start talking about a 15 or 20-year-old motor vehicle or truck, and they might not even be making parts for that.
Then you have to have a vehicle total too, Charlie, so you're still talking vehicles.
Oh, we got those new Explorers.
And those are too small.
Those were not bought.
They were all destroyed.
I tried, yeah.
We looked.
I understand the mechanics of it. It's easier to go in and turn a key than hook up and make sure you got the right card.
Right.
Well, I understand.
okay.
What does the performance bond cover?
To make sure we get what vehicle that we wanted and it's outfitted the way we wanted it.
Okay, but the contract says we don't have to pay them until 45 days after receipt.
Right.
This came up in another context. We require them to have a bond, which raises the price a little bit, but we have 45 days to examine it before we pay them. Does the performance bond go beyond the 45? I mean,
That's something to get.
Well, that's where you get into warranty at that point, I would imagine.
Yeah, you're in
Well,
Yeah.
part of performance is that they produce it in
Right.
150 days.
Correct.
yeah, but what are you going to call a bonding company? They're not going to produce it in 150 days
But you're not
either.
on any money. You don't give them any money.
No, I
You're on the
understand.
vehicle.
I understand, but the performance bond doesn't help you with 150 days, because if 149 days you know it's not coming, you have to start all over with somebody for 100. I'm not picking on you guys. It's a question of, we have a bonding requirement which probably added something to the cost of this, which may not be
Actually,
of value.
if I could point something out, one of the provisions of their bid was they were looking for a 50/20, 20/10 payment plan. We said no, and when I inquired through Pam whether we could look at this and see whether they can take the payment upon delivery without changing the price, they accommodated it. They said, okay, that's fine. So I think with the 50/20, 20/10, they may not have pushed the price up as much as maybe you would have thought with a pay on delivery setup. So they kept the price the same and eliminated that 50/20, 20/10 requirement.
Yeah, I'm just questioning whether there's any value in the performance bond, given the contract that says we don't have to pay until we've had it 45
We've
days.
questioned the same thing.
Yeah.
One of the things we've done and why we're doing it
take your time.
Those are town-
Maybe discussions we should have with Pam.
Okay, is there any further?
I move that we award bid number 30-1213 Police Mobile Command Vehicle to Nomad Global of Columbia Falls, Montana in the amount of $112,915.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All right, call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I voted against it because I really feel strongly that we need to start looking at alternative payments and resources with towns on this type of equipment, so.
Okay, that's 4 and 1 out in opposition. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Have a good night, guys.
Sure.
Okay, item 5, Dockmaster Rod McLaren. Rod's not here tonight, so I think we have another gentleman from the Marina Commission. Consider to take possible action on award of bid 36-1213, town marina fencing work.
Hi, my name is Charlie Dietlich. I'm new to this, so if I make any procedural mistakes, please forgive me.
We'll be kind.
Thank you, thank you. We needed after the last hurricane and with age
We had,
bearing down on us, the split rail fence that was down at the town marina was becoming a safety hazard. And people were sitting on it, and we were afraid somebody might take a tumble into the marina, which wouldn't be a good thing. After the last hurricane, a lot of the stone had to be repositioned. The stone that slopes down into the harbor had to be repositioned, and a lot of the fence was really destroyed. So that fence had to go. So we put out to bid about 2 months ago for new fencing. Rod went around of the marinas and asked them what kind of fencing did they have, and Rod put together a very specific set of details, including the brand of the fence, lifetime warranty. It's a 4-foot aluminum fence, and we put it out to bid, and these are a copy of the bids we received and opened on the 27th. We met after that, and we would like to award the bid to bidder number 7 on the bottom left, Fence World. Now, a couple reasons. Number 1, he's local. Number 2, Fence World is the company that supplied this exact same fence to several of the marinas in Clinton. And Rod called them, and they're very happy with it. We questioned why he was so much cheaper than anybody else. You know, we used to think the old time, you throw out the low, throw out the high, take somebody in the middle. And then we found out that Fence World is actually an authorized dealer for the brand of fence that we specified in the bidding. We didn't realize that, so we figured, A, he's probably getting it for a cheaper price, being an authorized dealer. And B, if there was any warranty problem, so to speak, and we asked for and got a lifetime warranty on the installation and the finish on the fence, that he would be able to handle it being an authorized retailer for that particular brand of fencing. So it's a 4-foot aluminum sunken concrete with gates by each one of the ramps going down to the slips. And we took a vote on it in the Marina Commission last week, and it was unanimous that we would like to award the bid to bidder number 7. So then, from what we understand, the next step was to bring this up to you folks and, you know, say if it's okay with you, it's okay with us, this is what we'd like to do. And, you know, ask approval, permission, whatever you want to call it, but, you know, this way we're all on the same page and you know what we would like to do, and this would come entirely out of Marina Commission funds.
What's their timing?
We
we,
specified that it had to be done
okay.
by the beginning of the season,
Which is
and
when?
our season starts April 15th.
Okay, so you got about a month.
Okay, and they said, yeah, no problem, just give us a call and let us know, and we'd be able to roll. And the stonework had to be done first, because the backhoe, for lack of a better term, had to reach down and pull rock up. All that's been done, so that's finished. So we have that temporary fencing up now, which we'd like to get rid of as soon as possible. But it's ready for installation. I mean, if we give this guy a call, he's ready to roll on it, and he said he can get it done by the time the season starts this year.
Okay.
Actually, last time I drove through the community center, they were working on the community center. They won the low bid
Right.
for the fencing there.
That's the
That's
other
right.
place. I knew there was another place.
So, I mean,
I knew
they
there was,
may be done by now, but
We
they
just
may still
approved
be in
that.
town.
Yeah, we just
Last
approved that.
meeting, I think.
yeah,
it
but
was.
they did some of the marinas down, and with the, being in a marine environment, we asked for specific specifications as to the quality of aluminum and the quality and type of finish on the aluminum to withstand more of a marine environment. And one of the things we asked for was a lifetime warranty. And they said, done. They were willing to give us a lifetime warranty on it. Now, whether that holds up in
Like
30
yours
years,
or
yeah,
mine.
exactly. I don't know, define lifetime, okay, but they met all of our specifications without a question.
Is this coated aluminum or?
It is.
It is.
It is.
What's it coated?
We're going, it's a special anodized coating for the aluminum
Okay.
that actually is baked on and bonds with the metal, chemically attaches to the metal, not just drying like paint. And of all the colors, I think we chose black because we chose black, for lack of a better color.
No
Okay. And they said it was readily available, and they could do it, relatively quickly.
I'll
So-
move that we award bid number 36-1213 to Fence World for the amount of $16,400.
Second.
Is there any further discussion? No discussion on the motion, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Are unanimous. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Pam will be in tomorrow, so she can start working on the
Okay,
contract.
excellent. Thank you.
Okay, item 6. This relates back to the public hearing we had when we opened the meeting, discuss and take possible action on programs to be included in the town 2013 Small Cities Grant Application, approve certified resolution, and authorize first selectman to sign all documents related to the grant application.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on the motion?
The only
Gary?
question I have, Rich said he was coming back.
There he is.
One document says 500, one document says 600. That's,
We believe there was a
It's
typo
500,
on what you
should
showed,
be.
but it is 500,000.
okay. That's, either number was fine with me, I just wanted to be consistent.
Okay, on the, what you would empower me to sign, we'll say 500 on there.
Okay.
Any further discussion, questions? I'll call for a vote on the motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for hanging around. Thank you, ladies. Nice seeing you all again. Okay, and we have to do, there's a second motion in regard to that. Consider and take possible action to approve the community resource management as the funding consultant, might want to call Rich back again, concerning the 2013
Rich?
application for the small cities funding for the Guilford Court project. This is the consultant that they want to hire, which they've been using for quite some time. I dismissed them a little early.
We can't dismiss you guys, we need you back for the next resolution on the consultant.
Dale Coop, Rich, that's my fault.
He's my man.
See, I thought I'd let you go early.
I apologize for that.
Give us a little update on this.
Angela, you want to come sit with me with Dale? I mean,
Dale Crew?
Yeah,
Dale has been our longtime consultant, and I do believe it was put out to bid.
He was the only bidder,
yes, he was.
so made it nice and easy.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay. All right.
And he's,
And I know you worked with him before,
oh yeah, several times.
several years. I know I've had I've some contact with him on your behalf.
And we've tried to, we've looked at other proposals and quality, and Dale has been the cheapest and the best.
Okay,
Kinda can't beat that.
And is he paid out of the grant?
yes. He does all of the filings, all of the paperwork, and we just submit them and send them in. Okay. Have a motion then?
I move that we approve Dale Coop as the community resource manager.
It's actually, we're approving community
Oh,
resource
okay, that's the
management.
name of the company.
Right,
Okay,
as
can
the
you-
funding consultant.
As the funding consultant.
Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Unanimous. Now you can have a good night. Thank you.
See my kids now. Kids are good night.
Okay,
Thanks, Joe.
they're getting their bedtime. Thank you all. Appreciate it. I'm not gonna call you back again. All right, item 8, appointments and resignations. We have a whole list of them. The town committees have been very busy. 8.1, this is a resignation from Robert Bonder, from the Standing Building Committee.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great. Act on a resignation from Eric Steinmetz from the EDC, Economic Development Commission.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And we'll send a letter with regrets, Tracy,
Yeah.
please. Thank you.
He's been on a long time.
Yeah, he has. Okay, these are appointments and reappointments. This is an appointment to, for Peter Palumbo to the Housing Authority for a term to expire March 31st, 2018.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Act on a recommendation to appoint Richard Chiozzi, I think I said that right, to the Pension Committee for a term to expire November 20th, 2013.
30.
It's fulfillment of a term.
It says 30.
30, sorry.
So moved.
2013, okay.
Second.
Act on a reappointment.
Call the vote.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Act on a reappointment of Mary Beth Marks for water pollution for a term to expire July 31st, 2016.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. On reappointment of Thomas Cost to the Planning and Zoning Commission for a term to expire February 28th, 2017.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Reappointment of Raymond Bauer to Planning and Zoning for a term to expire February 28th, 2017.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Act on a reappointment of Alan Brown to the Shellfish Commission for a term to expire on February 28th, 2017.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
This act on a reappointment of Susan Popplewell to the Zoning Board of Appeals for a term to expire February 28th, 2017.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Act on a recommendation to move Alan Brown from an alternate to a regular member of the Zoning Board of Appeals for a term to expire February 28th, 2017.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Act on a recommendation to move Kevin Clark from alternate to regular member of the Inland Wetlands Commission for a term to expire February 28th, 2017.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Great. Thank you. Act on a recommendation to move George Brevet from an alternate to a regular member on the Shellfish Commission.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Let's see. Act on a recommendation to appoint Walton Colbier, I think it's pronounced.
Colbier.
Excuse me, to Planning and Zoning Commission to fill a vacancy for a term to expire February 28th, 2014.
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Right. Act on a recommendation to appoint, excuse me, Suzanne Carlson to Youth and Family Service to fill a vacancy for a term to expire September 30th, 2016.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I guess he's getting involved.
Yeah.
Act on a that's great. Act on a recommendation to appoint John Penders to Park and Recreation to fill a vacancy for a term to expire February 28th, 2015.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Recommendation to move Colleen Stratton from alternate to a regular member of the Economic Development Commission to fill a vacancy for a term to expire November 30th, 2016.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we're almost done, people. Act on a recommendation to move, excuse me, Robert Shove from an alternate to a regular member of the Standing Building Committee to fill a vacancy for a term to expire June 17th, 2016.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Act on a reappointment of Stephen Goldschmidt to the Shellfish Commission for a term to expire February 28th, 2017.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And that does it. Okay. We have a request for the use of town property and including from 9-1, 9.1 to 9.5. 9.5 we just added at the beginning of the meeting. Gary?
I would move that we approve the 3 signs and the 3 uses. One of 9.5 is both a sign and a use, as listed in the agenda as amended.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, under correspondence, we have a letter advising us regarding Soccer Fest 2016. And we also have the Public Works monthly report, which is going to change, believe me, when we get the one for February. This is the January one, which was a little bit late because of the storm.
I have a question, though. I wondered maybe if you knew the answer, Joe.
Want to try?
On Public Works report, they talk about washing their equipment, you know, to remove the sand and salt, which, you know, is extremely important, and I would urge town residents to do the same. Where do they go to do that?
They do it down at the garage.
Do they do it at the garage?
At the garage.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No.
Anybody? Okay. Committee reports? Anybody like to report anything from their committees? Does anyone say anything about your event?
No, that we're continuing to work and that we're doing an informational, this is for the 375th birthday celebration, and we're hopefully going to film a informational program to be filmed on GCTV next Tuesday night, the 12th, so hopefully the public will tune in after that and learn about all the terrific things we have planned.
Great. You're doing a lot of hard work, so any support you can give them would be greatly appreciated.
I do want to say, that's a good point, though. The first fundraising dance will be held March 23rd at the KFC Hall, and the band is 8 to the bar. Tickets are $20 per person. It's a BYOB, but it will help to, it's starting to help us raise money so that we can, our seed money, so we have money to put on the events that we have.
Okay, if anybody would like more information on that, where should they? Give us something, we'll keep the information up here and we'll put it on the website.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
good. All right, anything else? Anybody? Gary?
We just should mention that most of us were at the joint Board of Finance, Board of Ed, Board of Selectmen meeting on the high school. It's, the planning is done, the drawings are done, they're going to the state. It's on schedule. We've got a little bit of a discussion about what the state might do,
Right.
and its processes, which is a little disconcerting to those of us that sit here and listen to it, but I guess those that are familiar with the process, it's just the process of getting approval from the state, and so it's moving along. They're still hoping to put a shovel in, I think, the 1st of July, and a year from the following April to do a move-in, if everything happens perfectly.
Yeah, well, that's it's an aggressive timeline.
It is aggressive.
Actually, their first meeting with the Bureau of School Facilities was today, March 4th, and they will meet again with them tomorrow. What Gary was alluding to, I believe, was that then the Bureau has 30 days to act on it. After they come back with some recommendations or questions, we go back to them, and it's a 30-day period they have to act. If not, then it's up to the local authorities, meaning our building officials and our fire marshals, to review the plans. But, so we don't know if it's, where it's going to be at this point. Okay? Anything else? Any other committee reports?
But the high school looks great. It
It's
will be
fantastic.
great.
Yep. Nice job. Okay, any old business?
Again, we went through this long list of appointments. I've done this before. Remind people there are still openings for a lot of jobs. A lot of commissions need help, and ask everybody to review their schedules and review the commissions. And if you have the skills and the time, volunteer, because there's still more openings.
Good point. Any new business?
I have a
Do you wanna
suggestion.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Charlie.
Jump on.
I just had a comment on, if you had a comment on the transfer station.
You had a fire?
Yeah.
No. The transfer station had a fire on Saturday night. Kudos to the fire department. They put it out, they got there and put it out within 15 minutes. It's saved the structure. The only damage so far that has been reported is the plywood or sheathing inside of that hopper building. The framing looks pretty sturdy, absolutely good. There's no sign of any fire damage there. So it's a matter of just resheathing the inside of that tower, so to speak. It was closed today. Today is Monday the 4th. It will be open tomorrow and then our regular schedule. As far as the mechanicals go, we know there is no damage to the compactor.
Yeah, that's what I was worried
Yeah,
about.
that's the big ticket
Yeah.
item. There is some wiring that has to be changed so we can get the scale in operation, but that shouldn't take long. I'm told it's not a big job.
Okay.
Okay?
Did they say what caused it, or just because?
No, it's
of the
under
stuff?
investigation. That's
Okay.
all. It's an open
Somebody-
investigation right now. Okay.
Yeah.
But I see the assistant chief there. Guys did a great job and was saved the building and saved us, the town, a lot of problems. So, okay. Anything else? You were going to say something.
Yeah, I did. I was going to ask if perhaps at an evening meeting, like either before one of our regular scheduled meetings, either before or after, if we could have a workshop to talk about communications. I had a lot of feedback from the public regarding where people go to get information in emergencies, like
Okay.
our blizzard and snowstorm, and I don't know. I just thought it'd be a good idea if we kind of batted around some ideas and what information we put up and
Okay.
that kind of thing.
If you want a private evening meeting, we can do that.
Yeah, I prefer an evening meeting. It's just easier, but
Trace, we can see if we can schedule that sometime. Okay. Anything further?
Joe, I'd just like to reiterate that at some point and in some form, and I'm not sure what it is, that we talk about this bonding issue because I'm concerned that we're requiring bonds that raise prices, and the bonds aren't particularly
You mean
valuable.
performance bonds?
Yeah, and they aren't
Yeah.
particularly valuable to us.
Okay.
But we've made people go out and get them, so I just
We'll
like to
we'll wait for Pam to be in on that discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Public forum? Anybody? It's limited to any item. Okay. Seeing none, I'll call for a motion to adjourn.
so moved.
second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everybody.